Trixie C. The Victims and Villains of TLC by Patrick CC. Talk to me, Patrick.
Whether they were looking for a fresh start or giving the world a look into their misunderstood lifestyles, these people allowed the TLC network to put their lives on display for millions to criticize. For a moment, it looked like their lives were going to change for the better, but when the camera stopped rolling, a much darker reality began to unfold and their lives fell apart. There is a shockingly common theme of former TLC reality stars finding themselves in public scandals, prison sentences, and TLC.
Isn't this that girl from Grey's Anatomy? My girl be watching it, and I just be like sitting and watching it sometimes with her. I don't remember what her name is, but she was one of the doctors.
Reality stars finding themselves in public scandals, prison sentences, and even an early grave.
Damn.
Today, we will be discussing the dark life after a
Honey
TLC
Boo Boo.
show, starting with Honey Boo Boo, who seemed like a silly and charismatic young girl on screen, but off screen was being exploited to unimaginable levels.
Of course she was being exploited.
When it comes to controversial reality television, there is no better example than Toddlers and Tiaras. The show featured girls as young as 3 years old competing in beauty pageants. They were frequently placed under immense amounts of stress, suffering verbal abuse, and constantly being pressured to reach unattainable beauty standards. The show has been accused of children, with some of the contestants dressing or dancing inappropriately for a preschooler. Despite this, the show developed a large audience who enjoyed the mayhem and drama that came with every episode, earning around 1.6 million viewers per week. But not everyone was supportive. Many critics felt like these parents used their daughters as a way to vicariously live out their dream of being a beauty queen, and this almost always resulted in the mothers putting their own desires over the comfort and safety of their children. One of the most notorious examples of this was June Shannon and her daughter Alana, better known as Honey Boo Boo. Alana's personality was perfect for TV. She created hilarious moments every time she opened her mouth.
Must be crazy if they think they're gonna be me, Honey Boo Boo child.
Equally impossible to ignore was her mother June, who stirred up controversy from the moment she was introduced. She notably gave her 6-year-old daughter a concoction of Mountain Dew and Red Bull, which Alana called—
What the fuck? Red Bull and Mountain Dew? My mom didn't even let me touch energy drinks until I was 18, bro.
the go-go juice to keep her energy high when she was competing in pageants.
Not 18,
Many believe
16,
that this was a negligent and dangerous strategy, as the caffeine content of energy drinks far exceeds the—
Yes, bro. You see? My mom didn't even let me touch that shit till I was 16, bro.
recommended limit for a child as young as Alana, but far worse than that was June's objectification of Alana, often calling for her to show more skin and show her belly to the judges for a better score.
She'll know the tummy when I go like that. She'll be knowing that she needs to show the tummy to the judges.
Regardless of the glaring issues between this mother-daughter dynamic, Alana and Mama June were both captivating characters, which is why TLC chose to capitalize on their growing popularity and give them their very own TV show called Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. The show was immediately more successful than Toddlers and Tiaras, earning 2.4 million viewers per episode and ultimately ran for 4 seasons. However, the show would be abruptly canceled when it was revealed that Mama June was dating a child predator. Alana's mother was in a romantic relationship with a man named Mark McDaniel, a registered sex offender who was arrested in 2004 for abusing an 8-year-old. Mark had spent the last—
And then you dated him? Okay, so let me get this straight. You found this man, he's a registered sex offender, and you find out he's a registered sex offender, and he abused an 8-year-old, and you still go on to date him. I'd understand if you dated him, didn't know this, found out, broke up with him. You continue to date him after finding out he's a registered SO, and then— you know what, whatever. 10
years in prison and had only been released earlier that year. To make matters worse, June knew him far before he was ever convicted.
What the fuck?
And supposedly had previously dated him at the same time he— his victim. This was a PR nightmare for TLC,
Jeez
as they were
Louise.
platforming the mother of one of the most famous children on the planet, who is now exposing her daughter to a dangerous pedo. TLC canceled the show and said, supporting the health and welfare of these remarkable children is our only priority, which you'll see later isn't always the case.
True.
June's decision to associate with a man like Mark is reflective of the blatant disregard she has for her children and her inability to put her own desires second to their safety. Then again, this is not her first time having an association with child predators. It was revealed shortly after that 2 of June's daughters, Jessica and Pumpkin, were fathered by Michael Anthony Ford, a completely different offender who abused minors and was even featured on an episode of To Catch a Predator.
It's Michael Anthony Ford. I have not had contact with him since 99. Since then, he was caught on Catch a Predator.
At this point, the public didn't care that the Honey Boo Boo
She don't seem like she has high IQ just by the way she talk, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
show was canceled. They just wanted to know if she was safe under the custody of her own mother. In 2019, Mama June was arrested with her new boyfriend, Eugene Doak, for possession of a controlled substance and drug paraphernalia.
You see what state?
Sweet.
Sweet home Alabama.
As police recovered needles and glass pipes from the couple's vehicle. But luckily, June's horrible parenting would finally see justice, because in 2022, she officially lost custody of a now 16-year-old Alana, who was now in the care of June's older daughter, Pumpkin. In the eyes of the court, June was unfit to care for the former child star, and as Alana approached adulthood, she had to come to terms with her troubled relationship with her mother.
Do you not understand that I am staying with my sister? And that's not my choice. I swear to God, Mama, it's not my choice.
Okay, it's not? Yes, it is.
It's not my choice. She wants to stay with you. She obviously doesn't feel safe in the house.
I would love to come home and tell you about my day, but I can't do that because I'm scared. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm scared to stay at your house.
A biopic documenting Alana's childhood titled I Was Honey Boo Boo, released in 2025. The film shines light on what Alana describes as a transactional relationship she had with her mother, revealing that June always prioritized business over her own daughter. As if that wasn't bad enough, Alana never received a single cent from her time on television. Her mother spent it all before Alana became an adult.
I have never ever received the Here Comes Honey Boo Boo money. I've never seen it, never ever even heard of it, if I'm being completely honest.
You don't really give a that you took my money. That's the real problem.
It's gone. I used it in my drug addiction. Woo!
She gave me my money back and was like, oh, here's your money.
Worst.
No, I don't think she ever was like, I'm sorry. I was so over just like poking and prodding at her for the money. Like I was at the point of like, you know what? I don't even freaking want the money anymore.
On a more positive note, Pumpkin seems to have done an amazing job raising Alana to be a well-adjusted young woman. She is currently pursuing a degree in nursing at Regis University with aspirations to work in the medical field. June Shannon is a few years sober now, but is still doing everything she can to maintain her reality TV status, accepting deals with no-name networks to produce another spin-off of her country Kardashian lifestyle. As tragic as Alana's childhood was, it was clear to see the warning signs from the moment she made her first appearance on television. The same can't be said for the Duggar family, a seemingly picture-perfect Christian household who were hiding a disturbing and dark secret. The Duggar family first appeared in a 10-hour TV special titled 14 Children and Pregnant Again. As a devout Christian family, Jim Bob Duggar and his wife Michelle .
So you're telling me you heard the name Jim Bob Duggar and didn't think that there was anything heinous he could be hiding? All right, that's on me, I guess.
Were strongly against the use of contraceptives, and after the birth of their first child, Joshua, they allowed God to decide how many children they would end up having.
That's
the Duggar
so
family
stupid. That's so Y'all niggas heard of free will, right? God's not going to tell you how many kids to have. You just need to fucking put the shit. You need to stop. You know what? I was going to go somewhere and I'm not going to go there.
held the most conservative and traditionalist values possible, homeschooling all of their children and heavily restricting their usage of the internet and television. The Duggar family dynamic was almost entirely unheard of in our modern society, which is why TV producers offered more specials with each new child born. They ultimately landed a full-blown television show, 17 Kids and Counting, which was eventually retitled to 19 Kids and Counting by 2010. The show was meant to be a chaotic yet wholesome glimpse into the life of a massive Christian family, but slowly over time, the cracks in their facade began to shatter their holy image. By 2015, some of the Duggar children were now grown adults. Their eldest child, Josh, was 27 years old, with a wife and 4 children of his own by 2015. Josh was perceived to be following in the footsteps of his parents, working on conservative political campaigns, and even saved his first kiss for his wedding day. However, it was revealed that Josh had been named as an alleged offender in a police investigation into underage assault. In 2002, when Josh was 14 years old, he was accused of inappropriately touching an unnamed girl while she slept. Even after his father became aware of the situation, Josh continued to multiple other girls while they slept, all of which are believed to be his younger sisters.
My nigga, I thought these were like random girls, like the church school girls and shit and whatnot. Oh my god, his own fucking siblings, yo.
For years, Jim Bob Duggar refused to take any strict action, but the police would step in once they received a copy of an email describing Josh's behavior. The email, written by an anonymous source close to the family, was sent to Harpo Studios, a multimedia company founded by Oprah Winfrey in the days leading up to the Duggars' appearance on the Oprah show. Before you air the Duggar family from Arkansas, you need to know the truth. They are not what they seem to be. Josh has blank while blank were sleeping, and the parents have been hiding this secret for a long time. I think that you should know the truth before they make a complete fool of you and your show. They've been on TV before and come across as a perfect family, which couldn't be further from the truth. This email was forwarded to the local police by someone at Harpo Studios, but no official charges were brought as the statute of limitations had expired. These allegations would be buried temporarily, but they couldn't escape them forever. The whole family could feel the pressure online, and Josh Duggar had no choice but to address the situation, in which he confessed to his sisters.
Oh my god. Your fucking sisters. I mean, bro.
12 years ago, as a young teenager, I acted inexcusably, for which I am extremely sorry and deeply regret. I hurt others, including my family and close friends. I confessed this to my parents, who took several steps to help me address the situation. We spoke with the authorities, where I confessed my wrongdoing, and my parents arranged for me and those affected by my actions to receive counseling. I understood that if I continued down the wrong road, that I would end up ruining my life. I sought forgiveness from those I had wronged and asked Christ to forgive me and come into my life. I would do anything to go back to those teen years and take different actions. In my life today, I am so very thankful for God's grace, mercy, and redemption. In response, TLC pulled the show from its scheduled time, leaving the program in a state of limbo before officially canceling it altogether. Shockingly, most of the show's viewers believe that this was blown out of proportion. There was an overwhelming sentiment that Josh was a confused and misguided teenager, with the argument
I don't care, bro. There's no excuse for fucking fondling your own fucking sisters, nigga. What? I mean, like, what? Yo, niggas will defend anything, bro.
Being that because of his sheltered upbringing, he didn't fully understand his actions and began making poor choices as he hit puberty. But all those people defending him were about to be proven dead wrong. Ashley Madison was the name of a website designed to facilitate.
Yes, I remember this. No, I didn't use it. If you guys remember those music videos back in like 2014, like Loyal by Chris Brown, the music video for Loyal, there's like a guy on his phone using the Ashley Madison website. I think it's hookers and shit.
Facilitate affairs for married individuals.
Oh, it's affairs.
In 2015, it had its user data.
You know what? That makes more sense for the music video. In the song, Loyal. These hoes ain't loyal.
leaked to the internet. Many notable men found themselves at the center of controversy following the data breach, including Josh Duggar. He responded to the leak saying, "I have been the biggest hypocrite ever. While espousing faith and family values, I have secretly over the last several years been viewing porn on the internet, and this became a secret addiction and I became unfaithful to my wife." Shortly after, Josh admitted himself into rehab to deal with his addiction, but his addiction...
You niggas defended this guy, bro. It's so funny, bro. Because when it comes out that you're defending him and trying to make excuses, and then there is the excuses that you made are far from the truth, it's so funny. Why are you making up excuses for a nigga you don't even know?
was far more...
But then when it's somebody else on the internet, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Guilty until proven innocent.
Sinister than his family could ever have imagined, and it was about to land him behind bars. On April 21st, 2021, Josh Duggar was arrested by federal officers for the receipt and possession of CSAM and CP.
Yeah, this guy truly doesn't know his actions.
Federal grand jury found that Josh received material featuring children under the age of 12 years old, and as a result, he was sentenced to 12 years in federal prison. Good. I'll spare you the details of what was found on this man's hard drive, but just know that him getting 12 years in prison is not nearly enough time. The Duggar family story is a prime example of why you shouldn't believe everything you see on TV. What seemed to be a wholesome Christian family was protecting a horrific child predator, and TLC was profiting the entire time. They were also about to fatten their bank accounts with My 600 Pound Life, a show that ended in so many tragedies, it's unbelievable.
Yo, bro, I mean, before Patrick goes into My 600 Pound Life, I mean, I know of so many people who died on this show. So many people who they looked into the lives of My 600 Pound Life, they died. They died.
It still has not been canceled. Getting in shape can be a struggle for anybody, but imagine just how much harder it is when you're hundreds of pounds overweight. This was the appeal of My 600 Pound Life, a show that documented the weight loss journey of morbidly obese people looking to make drastic changes, hoping to eventually qualify for weight loss surgery. On the surface, the show seemed like a well-intentioned and positive program. Not only were they helping people lose weight, but they were documenting their struggles in a way that may have inspired others to turn their lives around. However,
but the quickness of their weight loss killed some of them.
The show continued to air, a dark pattern emerged that couldn't be ignored, and many started wondering if TLC was turning a blind eye. Many former participants have since passed away following their appearance on the show. One of the first was Robert Bushell, who lost a significant amount of weight after entering the show weighing over 800 pounds. He suffered a fatal heart attack during filming at only 41 years old. Sean Milliken's heart stopped after losing over 400 pounds. Kelly Mason and LaTanya Patain both suffered fatal heart attacks following their appearance on the show. Regardless of the progress these people had made, their bodies were too far gone. Years and years of strain on their heart and damage to essential organs made recovery impossible, and they spent their final moments fighting a battle they could never win. Others just could not make a permanent change after the show was over. My 600 Pound Life provided contestants nutrition plans, workout regimens, and constant surveillance that held them accountable. These factors were able to keep them in check when the cameras were rolling, but many fell back into old habits when the production crew left. One of the most notable examples of this was Larry Myers Jr. Larry went viral in 2022 and was dubbed Mr. Buttermilk Biscuits after his hilarious reaction to a Popeyes biscuit.
Buttermilk biscuits!
Larry once weighed nearly half a ton, and he was able to lose 100 pounds during the show. However, the producers responsible for his episode failed to address the root of his issues. Larry turned to food as a coping mechanism to deal with the death of his mother and nephew, and once his episode ended, he returned to that same habit. One of the most common reasons people become morbidly obese is because of their emotional relationship with food, often using it as a coping mechanism to deal with stress and trauma. This is an issue that the show often fails to address. It's much deeper than people just not being able to control their cravings. Gina Krasley faced a similar issue, reaching 300 pounds at just 13 years old, and turned to food to deal with her abusive father. She found some success during the
mother. I didn't know about this one. 13.
Show, but Gina would pass away at only 30 years old shortly after her appearance. Now, most people aren't that shocked to find out that many of these severely overweight people passed away. They kind of look at it like they made their bed, now they have to lay in it. And to an extent, that is true. These are individuals living with the consequences of their actions, which is years of habits that didn't change their body overnight. But that's also what makes the show so complicated. My 600-Pound Life selects the most extreme cases because those are the best for TV. The more unstable the lifestyle, the more dramatic the transformation will be. They build a narrative around their struggle and present it as a story of redemption, knowing full well that these people might literally die on the show. Supporters will say that the show is helping by providing an opportunity that nobody had ever gave them, or that they were going to die anyway if they didn't change, but TLC gave them an opportunity. But even if the intention is to help, the show is still built around filming people at their lowest point without any real safety
Cameraman, just record that shit. Don't even try to help her.
Once the cameras leave. And in some cases, the dark life after the show results in something far more serious that—
Don't even— wait. Another thing. I'm sorry. The cameraman didn't try to help her, which, I mean, I get that. Trying to help somebody falling at that weight is probably going to kind of hurt you too. But he didn't even try to help her get up. He just sitting there recording her.
TLC was never designed to handle. James Bonner is easily one of the most tragic examples of this. In 2013, he lost his right leg in a car accident. As a result, he suffered from severe depression and turned to food and alcohol as a way to cope. By the time he appeared on the show in 2018, he weighed over 650 pounds. With the odds stacked against him, James made incredible progress, got sober, and lost over 400 pounds. But James's weight wasn't the cause of his inner battle. It was simply the byproduct of it. James made the final permanent decision at only 30 years old.
Oh my God.
Writing in a Facebook post, no matter what you change or the efforts you put forth in life, sometimes you just have to take it on the chin and deal with things your own way. And the way James chose to die is not the only instance of this issue. Destiny Lachey during season 7 lost over 500 pounds after appearing on the show, but wrote after, "I feel like all I'm constantly doing is trying to escape my depression and pain at this point. Food is the only thing I can turn to do that. I can feel it killing me. There's no way I'm going to survive for much longer." And unfortunately, she suffered the same fate as James less than 3 years after her episode aired.
Damn.
There are a vast array of different reasons why so many people who took part in the show eventually passed away, but they all raise the same question. Is My 600-Pound Life truly meant to be a feel-good and motivational program seeking to help people in need, or a platform for those with undesirable lifestyles to be gawked at like a zoo animal by viewers? And since TLC is constantly searching for the most extreme, attention-grabbing stories, it doesn't just highlight people in difficult situations, it inevitably starts platforming the worst kinds of people. Even a show that was supposed to be a—
Yo, I love this show though, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love this show, bro. This shit is so— that no-neck nigga,
about finding a lifelong soulmate ended up breeding a toxic and exploitative dynamic.
Oh, dude, it was bad. These niggas just wanted green cards, bro. Yo, this shit was bad, bro.
90 Days.
They were obviously using these people and they just didn't know better, bro. It was insane. I mean, my grandmother used to watch this shit and I used to sit with her and watch this all the time because like this show used to be so intriguing because I would just look here and be like, nigga, can't you see this nigga's using you for a green card or just like, bro? And they would never know. And the same thing with the women. They'd be like, yo, nigga, do you not see she trying to get a green card out of you?
A Fiancé is a reality TV series that documents couples who have applied for a K-1 visa, which permits a foreign citizen to temporarily reside in America for 90 days while the couple gets married. This dynamic is chaotic because it's usually a desperate American who could not find a partner amongst 300 million citizens.
Yo, bro, why did Patrick word it like that, bro? That shit is funny. Oh, my, bro, listen.
Usually a desperate American who could not find a partner amongst 300 million citizens.
You know, it's usually a desperate American who couldn't find love, a partner in between 300 million of citizens. Like, my nigga, what are you doing? 300 million? You can't find a love.
and has resorted to finding companionship with someone halfway across the world, matched with an immigrant looking to use someone to gain American citizenship. And that's not the case for all of the people
it's the case for most of them, though,
that were featured on the show. There were many couples who were well-intentioned and found true love within each other.
That's true.
But if we're being honest, TLC wasn't always looking for a happy ending.
Exactly.
Larissa Lima traveled from Brazil to Las Vegas, Nevada to meet her eventual husband, Colt Johnson. From the second they met on the show, there were glaring issues that couldn't be ignored. The state of Nevada was hotter than hell, Colt was still living with his mother, and the two failed to find any chemistry whatsoever. As a result, the two would frequently bicker with each other, oftentimes devolving into full-blown arguments with the entire family.
And that's a big ring. So you should feel like a damn queen with a rock like that. But no, you take advantage. Hey, you know what? I don't say I just go with because he's a sweetheart and I love him.
In spite of the many red flags, including
this episode was fucking nuts, though. I can't even lie to you.
An instance in which Larissa flushed her engagement ring down the toilet after a heated argument, the two still thought it would be a good idea to tie the knot. On June 19th of 2018, Larissa was arrested on charges of domestic battery after
like, bro, you can't be that desperate. You can find somebody, bro. I promise you, you can find somebody.
After an altercation between her and Colt. She spent the night in jail and was released the following day, but 4 days later, the two officially got married on the 24th. Larissa would have a second run-in with the law in November that same year. Police responded to their home to investigate a potential domestic dispute, promptly breaking down the door and detaining Colt, while Larissa ran from the house to avoid being arrested. She was eventually apprehended and once again arrested on similar charges, with the responding officers taking note of visible injuries on Colt. Unfortunately, the worst was still to come, with a third dispute occurring in January of 2019 that was far more violent and bloody. This time, Larissa was the one to contact the police and was visibly injured when law enforcement arrived.
She called the cops from me. I'll be deported. I just scratched him because he was hurting me. As you see.
In spite of her injuries, officers determined her to be the primary aggressor, and she was once again arrested for domestic battery. The same day, Colt officially filed for divorce, a logical conclusion to a relationship that was doomed from the start. Unfortunately, this is far from an uncommon occurrence, as a handful of other couples on the show met a similar fate. Paul Stale and his wife Corinne met on the show in 2017. They got married that same year and had 2 children. However, the two had a messy public custody battle before their second son was born, as Corinne was attempting to take their son to her home country of Brazil behind Paul's back. What I found crazy is that they literally don't even speak the same language, and yet the two remained together for some time, but emotions boiled over after a video went viral of Corinne physically assaulting her husband. This resulted in both of their children being taken away by Child Protective Services and placed into foster care. To this,
you guys gotta realize that, like, doing this shit, you gotta realize who you having kids with. I'm not even joking, bro. And not even for the fact of like, oh, you might fall out of love with this person, whatever. Because if shit like this happens, it's always bad for the kid. It's always worse for the kid, because now both of these kids, 2 and 4 years old, have to be put into foster care for God knows how long.
This day, Paul and Corinne have since separated and have still not been reunited with their children. Jeffrey.
See? Listen to what Patrick just said.
Today, Paul and Corinne have since separated and have still not been reunited into foster care. To this day, Paul and Corinne
2022, it's been 4 years.
Have since separated and have still not been reunited with their children. Jeffrey Ian Pascal met his fiancée Varia on season 4 of the show, but truly found himself in the spotlight after being sentenced to 18 years in prison for aggravated kidnapping, domestic assault, and interference with emergency calls. In a fit of rage, Jeffrey senselessly beat his fiancée and refused to let her leave the home. Varia likely could have died that night if she didn't escape. Luckily, she did and was able to contact the police, leading to Jeffrey's arrest. But as chaotic as these relationships are, there is one that TLC introduced that became one of the most culturally significant public divorces in modern media history. One that TLC made a ton of money on, and that was between John and Kate Gossett.
Oh my god! 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 I
The
remember
couple
these.
was first introduced to the world in an hour-long TV special called Surviving Sextuplets and Twins on the Discovery Channel. Becoming a
Oh
new
my
parent
God.
is
I
scary,
remember this
exhausting,
show.
and overwhelming, but having 6 babies at once after already having twins seemed like a living nightmare
My
for most
grandmother used to
people.
watch
The
this
chaotic
too,
family
bro.
dynamic was enough to get picked up for a full-scale reality TV show, which was called John and Kate Plus 8. The
Oh
show
my
quickly shot
gosh.
up national TV ratings and became one of the most popular programs on the planet. But it came
Amongst
crashing
women
down quickly
18
in
to 34.
2009 when the couple announced that they would be getting a divorce. While this was devastating to fans of the show, the signs were there from the very beginning. Viewers took note of Kate's overbearing, controlling, and harsh style of communicating, which starkly contrasted John's more passive and calm demeanor.
She was probably, I'm sorry, can you stop breathing so loud, honey? He's like, breathe quietly. So I consider that. Them sick, anyone sick for. Do you hear yourself breathing? Oh, that's just gross.
When someone hates the sound of you breathing, they hate you. People came to
Yes.
see a massive family.
I mean, I couldn't have worded that better myself. Like, I'm like looking at y'all because I'm like, bro, she really like tweaking out of this nigga breathing, bro. Come on.
Working together to survive in modern day America, but John and Kate's constant bickering became the reason they stuck around. It was clear that Kate resented her husband for some reason, and her constant nagging began compounding for John, resulting in him emotionally checking out of the relationship. In the months leading up to their divorce, reports came in that John was having an affair with a 3rd grade teacher. Their divorce became one of the hottest subjects in the tabloids, documenting every awkward encounter and even a supposed visit from the police. The show completely broke away from its original premise and focused solely on John and Kate's separation. This issue compounded when John began publicly speaking out, discussing what he described as abuse at the hands of Kate, as well as heavily criticizing the showrunners.
Shit, bro, is that hard to believe that she hates the way this nigga breathes? I hate the way that you walk. I hate the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress.
John was particularly upset that the show would be continuing after the divorce, rebranded as just Kate Plus 8, meaning that his children would continue to be filmed without his constant supervision. As a result, he filed a cease and desist order against TLC, who quickly retaliated with a lawsuit of their own for a breach of contract violation. For the next few years, John found himself in constant legal battles with both TLC and his own wife, costing him millions in lawyer fees and nearly bankrupted him. Which, remember earlier when TLC said that thing that protecting children is their top priority? Yeah, well, someone who thinks TLC is nothing more than a massive corporation that profits off people's lives falling apart on camera is not much of a conspiracy theorist anymore. Kate Plus 8 continued filming, but it was met with lackluster reception and eventually canceled the following year. That's because Kate didn't have many endearing qualities. In fact, Kate's personality has been cited as the blueprint of what we now refer to as a Karen. With her short blonde hairstyle and pissy attitude becoming a textbook description of the Karen image. The disdain towards her became widely referred to as Kate hate, which only strengthened as she desperately continued to cling on the little fame that she had, making appearances on other TV shows like Dancing with the Stars. Meanwhile, John was met with overwhelming sympathy and admiration as he continued to focus on the safety and well-being of his children while doing his best to stay out of the limelight. When he does speak out publicly, it's typically to speak out against reality television and the irreparable damage it caused his family. The contrast couldn't be any more stark. John believes reality TV destroyed his life. Meanwhile,
I mean, look at the man, bro. Look at this. Stress, adversity, a bad fucking partner will age you like nothing, bro. This is bad. He looks like almost a completely different person.
Against reality television and the irreparable damage it caused his family. The contrast couldn't be any more stark. John believes reality TV destroyed his life. Meanwhile, his ex-wife is fully indulging in it. It's clear which parent had the right intentions, which is likely why John won the custody battles they had in the coming years. In August of 2017, police responded to a 911 call at an orthodontist office in Wyomissing, Pennsylvania. When they arrived, they saw John and Kate in a verbal domestic dispute over one of their daughters. Hannah. Ultimately, no one was arrested, and Hannah went home with John of her own choosing. This event was likely the catalyst of a legal battle over the 13-year-old girl, who ultimately awarded full custody to John. A few months later, John also won custody of his son Colin, painting a grim picture for Kate and her parenting style. A source close to the family said, "The problem is that the kids are getting older and they're starting to ask questions. Some are still team mom, but team dad is growing. It's a very divided household." What was initially supposed to be a glimpse into an unconventional family of 10 quickly devolved into a battle of 2. The show itself wasn't even that popular compared to the massive public fallout that is still going on to this day. Hannah, who turned 18 in 2022, has since publicly spoken out about her reasons for choosing to live with her father. I felt like my dad gave me that attention and a feeling like I had a good solid relationship with a parent. It was a difficult decision leaving my siblings. I did not want to be separated from them or even like live in a different household than them, but I just feel like there was unfair treatment in my mom's house and I just wanted to live with my dad. This is why reality TV, particularly TLC shows, are such a double-edged sword. You don't get a television show when you're well-adjusted and drama-free. Your life needs to be kind of falling apart and have a specific type of personality to want to be documented on TV during one of your lowest moments. I guess these people didn't realize that the money, fame, and worldwide attention would actually make their lives so much worse.
Look, being wholesome is not good for TV. Okay, so if you have a wholesome relationship, wholesome family, you're not getting on TLC. That's the point. So when TLC reaches out to you, light bulb in your head should go off. Holy shit, my family has an issue.
Worse than they already were. That same thing can be said for musicians who had one-hit song. They thought their lives would be better, but many of them got significantly worse. But check out this video if you want to hear more about that.
W Patrick fucking CC. Hey Patrick, W video, bro. I love you, bro.